Hi everyone, I am Sandra, and it is a pleasure to welcome you to today's episode of EncoraTalks, Mastering AI-driven user experience, when we will talk about some strategies and best practices. Over the next 30 minutes, I will take you through an exciting journey on how AI is transforming the way we humans interact with technology. We will cover some of the revolutionary changes that are happening and how what we can integrate AI into our design process to design the solutions for the future. Before we dive in, let me give you a little bit background about myself. My name is Sandra Vasquez. I'm the head of user experience at Encora. And over the last 10 years, I have worked with global clients to help them improve the user experience of their products. My career began at the intersection of technology and design, and I'm very passionate about solving users' issues with great user experiences. I have a background in management information system that allows me to bring the business and technology perspective to the human-centered design. And today, I am very excited to share my experience and insights on the growing role of AI in user experience. AI is definitely changing, but it's not only changing technology, it's also changing how we interact with technology. We are witnessing what Jacob Nelson's called the new UR paradigm, when we are evolving from a command-based interactions where users tell the computers and the system exactly what to do, to an intent-based interactions where users simply tell the computer what is the outcome they are desire, and technology figure it out how to get to this outcome. This shift is not only just on the technological aspect, but is also fundamentally changing the way we approach design, interactions, and user experience. Technology has always played a very important role through human history. And here we have a timeline of how the human interaction with technology has evolved over time as well. In 1945, we have the batch processing interactions that were very simple. Here, the users will get the computer a list of tasks to complete all at once in the form of punch cards. And then the computer will take a lot of hours, sometimes the next day, it will provide the outcome. Back on this era, the computer was a big machine that will take the space of the whole room. And the people who could interact with it were very limited. There were a lot of restrictions, and there needs to be a lot of context of the technology to be able to use it and understand it. I'm pretty sure we all are very young to remember these kind of computers, but you can see it on the movies on how they look like and how people interacted with it. By 1964, we entered the command-based interaction era. And here's when the communication started becoming back and forth. We were able to communicate with the computer, and the computer was able to provide outcomes. Here, users we give the computer specific commands and tasks they wanted to complete. It started very simple with lines of one text lines, and then we move into the graphic interfaces. And this is where the user experience field started to form as we know it. And now in the 2020s, we are entering the intent-based outcome specification era, where the user describe to the computer the outcome they want to get. And with AI, the computer defines what is the best approach to complete that outcome. We can see that there is a big gap between the command-based interaction and an intent-based interaction. However, even within the command-based interaction paradigm, there were a lot of changes. We moved from desktop computer to mobile devices to tablet. So it has been evolving over time, and now we are seeing how it will change into a new one. Although AI products are providing a lot of benefits, it is also coming with some challenges. Let's look, let's look at the tools that we use as designers in the day-to-day. In the command base, with traditional design tools, if we needed to create a graphic, it was about telling the computer everything. I'm sorry. Oh, I think we are going to leave the questions to the end. I see that there is one. We will republish it at the end. Okay, what I was saying here is that at the command, in the traditional tools, we will tell the computer what to do, and we tell the system what we needed to do if we need to create a graphic. But now with AI-powered tools, what we do is we tell the computer what outcome or what images do we want to create. It definitely reduces the creative process. I mean, the steps to get there. However, it brings some issues on usability and error handle. I'm sure you have seen yourself in the middle of exploring these tools and being frustrated because you are on your second or your third prompt attempt and you are not getting there. You are not getting the image that you have in your mind or the one that you need. Sometimes it even feels like you need to go back to the traditional tool. While AI interfaces aren't perfect yet, they have enormous potential for growth. The future of AI-driven user experience will be more of a combination of the graphic UI interfaces with the intent-based interfaces. When we are gonna make technology that combine and allow us to feel it more intuitive. On our end, our UX frameworks and processes also need to evolve to ensure we meet the demand of how users engage with these new technologies. We are in the middle of an AI revolution that is changing how we interact with technology. AI is no longer just a tool, but it's becoming part of our daily lives, from how we communicate, how we design, and how we design products, digital products specifically. As AI evolves, so should our approach to user experience to make sure that we create experiences that are more natural, accessible, and that respond to the user needs. Let's talk about how AI is transforming the way we interact with technology. One of the biggest shifts are natural language interfaces. Think about how Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, instead of typing, you can communicate with them as you are having a simple conversation with another person. This makes it easier for everyone to complete a task, no matter their age or their technical skills. An example I'd like to give is my grandfather, who never learned how to use a smartphone, but he's very proficient with his Alexa. Because Alexa plays his favorite music, it tells him how the weather is gonna be today, and it even tells him a couple of jokes now and then. Another exciting change is in multimodal interactions. We are no longer limited to keywords or touch screens. With AI, we can now use voice commands, gestures, and even facial expressions to control devices. Take a look at smart houses, where you can turn on the lights or the TV just by waving your hand. Finally, AI is getting really good with emotional recognition and adaptive interface. This means that AI sends your emotions, whether it is through voice or through facial expressions, or the tone of your voice, and adjust the response accordingly. Imagine interacting with a customer service chatbot that can predict your frustration because of the tone of your voice and can provide a more empathetic answer. Or if you are using a healthcare application that can identify if you are suffering some pain and can speed up on the process. Let's take a chatbot as an example. Chatbot has been on the market for a while, but most of us has only interacted with the traditional chatbots. Companies use them to automate their customer service. But a lot of time, especially in the last couple of years when we were using chatbots, we will usually face the challenge that we weren't able to communicate proficiently and end up frustrated with that experience. AI allowed traditional chatbot to convert into a smart conversation. Adding things like personality-infused AI, where brands can incorporate the personality of their brand so they can communicate better with their users. As users, we expect a different communication from brands like Nike or Adidas to a communication we will have with LinkedIn per se. Also, in a traditional chatbot, if you didn't ask the question correctly, you will get an error. But AI allowed to generate follow-up questions. So even if the users doesn't put enough information in the prompt, it is unclear, AI will start asking questions to make sure they gather the right information and can complete a task. But what is more exciting is when we implement this technology with an integrated with virtual assistants like Siri. Here, it feels more like a conversation with another person that is helping you complete a specific task or gather the right information. And the line between technology and human interaction feels blurrier. These are some of the advantages that we are seeing and some of the changes we are seeing on technology. AI offers really exciting opportunities for reshaping user experience. And here we are going to talk about 4 different areas when it is making a big impact. First, it is on personalizations. AI can customize digital experience for each individual. So we feel like when we are browsing a website or we are using an application, that application and that content is tailored for me. It could be either with recommendation for products or personalized news feeds. This personalization allows the users to have a more engaging experience and more satisfying one. Then there is predictive UX, where AI can learn from what users have done in the past and predict what they are more likely to do next. It is like the system reading your mind and without you even having to ask. Another area where AI is shining is on seamless automation. AI can take care of repetitive and simple tasks for you, so you don't have to. This streamlines your journey, removing any unnecessary frictions, because you can then focus on the things that really matters for you. And finally, AI is opening doors for innovative interactions. We are seeing a new world of user interfaces like voice, gestures, and even mixed reality. These emerging patterns are transforming how we engage with technology, giving us richer and fresher way to interact that are more natural, and it feels less like you are using a system. They feel more like a day-to-day interaction. But as we bring AI into our user experience designs, we will also be facing some challenges that we'll need to take into considerations. First, we need to think about the ethical considerations. We have to use AI on a responsible way, so we respect users' rights and values. Also, we need a lot of the AI system will work within existing platforms. So we need to ensure that it's a seamless integration. So it is improving the user experience of the user and it's not creating a friction. Bias is another issue. AI can unintentionally reflect bias from the data it's learning from. leading to unfair treatment of users. So we need to be aware of this and work with the engineering and the data team to understand how is the data that the AI is learning from. Trust and transparency are essential. User needs to know how AI makes decisions to feel more comfortable using it. We need to explain clearly how the AI process to help build that trust. And data privacy is also a major concern. We must protect user information and follow privacy laws. These can be challenges depending on the industry that you are working in and the region, but it's very important to always take the good approach on understanding how are the laws in terms of data. And lastly, we need to also watch for adversary attacks. These are attacks that are intended to trick the AI. By protecting against these threats, we will be able to provide better solutions. By addressing these challenges, we can create effective and responsible AI-driven user experiences. As we emerge on these new AI-driven possibilities, it is important that we keep the human at the center. We want an AI that is not just smart, but that is human-centered, that is transparent, trustworthy, and gives users control. At the end of the day, it is about ensuring technology serves the user and not the other way around. So to create the best AI-driven experiences, there are three key aspects that designer can start focusing on. First, as I mentioned, is they should build human-centered AI by making sure the systems are transparent and give users control on how decisions are made. Second, they should focus on contextual and adaptive designs. So the interfaces evolve based on user behavior and adapt to different solutions. And lastly, testing with AI can help designers redefine experiences more quickly and currently by simulating how users might interact with a product. This practice ensures that we are meeting the growing demand of AI integrations while keeping users at the heart of the user experience. Looking ahead, the future of human and AI collaborations is evolving in very exciting ways. We are not just talking about automating repetitive tasks. We are talking about actually collaborating with AI. The idea isn't about replacing the human creativity, but enhancing it. We will work alongside with this technology to help us boost our creativity efficiently so we can work together in a new and more efficient way. We are also seeing anticipatory design to take a shape. This means that AI will be able to predict what we need before we even ask. Imagine a world where your technology already knows what you want to act on, and it'll help you cut down on decision fatigue and make interactions feel smoother and more intuitive. Then we also got dynamic interactions on the horizons. Interfaces will adapt in real time based on what users need, their preference, and even their moods. We will also see in virtual spaces like the metaverse, AI will play a role on shaping real-time interactions. These immersive environments will feel even more engaging because AI will handle a lot of the real-time adjustments. And finally, we will see embodied AI in real-world objects like robots and smart devices. We can see that a lot of these things are happening already, and companies are experimenting with some products. But what we are going to see in the coming years is the access that more people will have to these solutions. To wrap this up, some key takeaways. It is clear that AI will keep evolving. How humans interact with technology, as well as how the design of user experience is happening. As AI becomes smarter and more adaptive, the line between humans and machines will blur, and we need to create more fluid and intuitive interactions for that. Designers must focus on creating systems that combine adaptive AI capabilities with a human-centered approach to deliver seamless, personalized, and exciting experiences. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. We will now open the chat for some questions. What about graphic interfaces and user print device mouse? Bernardo, can you elaborate a little bit more on the questions? What I can say is that what we are seeing is that there will be new ways of interacting. We went from an era of just keyboards and mouse to trackpads and now to voice controls and gestures. So we are seeing that new things, we will interact with technology in different ways. But I'm not sure that if that's what you refer in your question. What are the best practices for integrating AI-driven features into existing UX workflow? Well, first of all, I will recommend to start with a user-centric approach. Ensure that the AI features are reducing and solving an actual problem. Create an iterative process. Let's leverage the agile methodology. So we are using prototypes and MVPs to start gathering the attention of early adopter and see how these are changing. And also transparency and trust. It is our duty as designers to make sure that the system is transparent, so we can gain the trust of the user. I mean, pointing devices. I hope I answered your question, Bernardo. If not, please reach out to me and we can have a conversation and perhaps another EncoraTalks on the topic. Any specific tools? Well, there are a bunch of tools. I think the more common ones will be ChatGPT, Midjourney, Firepit. To be honest, I would say each month there are new tools growing. At Encora, each month we have different projects, and I think we have used a different tool in each project one. So you can start with the basics, but don't feel afraid to explore new ones. We can also see that they are evolving quite rapidly. So from the one time we use it for a project until the next time we use the same tool, it feels completely different. But I think Midjourney, ChatGPT are one of the most common ones. Well, we are using a different one. There are some tools that we were already used that are integrating UI, like Google Optimizer is a great tool for A/B testing that is now using is AI powered. So that is one. We are also using Firepit. We are using we were already using Crazy Egg for the analytics, and now they are adding some really good use of machine learning into these tools. Congratulations. Thank you, Regina. What are the common pitfalls to avoid when implementing UI and UX design? The first thing it said, don't get into over automation. A lot of things we get very excited with technology and we want to automate everything, but the key is to identify what are the challenges that we are trying to solve and balance between human control and AI automation. Also, be concerned or be aware of the data privacy and ethical concerns. It is our duty to ensure that the systems that we are designing are meeting these two criteria. Don't neglect error handling, because humans, we do make errors and we will do things differently. As designer, we're well aware of that. And also, focus on simplify the interactions, not on making it more complex. Sandra, can you recommend courses, trainings, or the fundamentals to become a great UX designer? Yes, there are definitely a lot of content. Google provides a lot of certifications. There are also Coursera courses. But I think the best thing you can do is to start experimenting with it. Build your own, POCs, build your own prototypes, take a application that you use constantly and do some usability testing on it, even if you don't have a client that is asking you to, because at the end it's about how much do you practice, how much do you do these processes, and how do you bring them to the real life experience. Maybe in due time we will be able to interact with graphic interfaces with the hands, pretty much on a sculptor, 3D projection interacting with one hand, and not only voice. Yeah, actually, there are already some technologies that are allowing us to become part of the tool. So it's not only about us manipulating a tool like a mouse, but it's us becoming. And I see that we will start seeing this a lot on the healthcare field as well. Do you have some designs right now to show us where you can use Gen AI? Well, actually, the chatbot examples that you use is a project that we work on. In which we start by analyzing the experience of the new generation of travelers. Actually, at Encora, if you go to Encora.com, you will be able to find a report under the travel industry section. And from that research, we start creating some solutions. And one of them was a chatbot that used Gen AI to facilitate the booking of a trip. And that prototype was also made with AI tools. Okay, another questions. What skills should UX designers develop to stay relevant in the AI-driven design landscape? Well, this is a really good question. And I think one is data literacy. We are not going to work directly, but we need to understand to be able to provide the new solutions. Also, AI and ML knowledge. Don't be afraid to take these courses that seems really technical. Actually, they are very beneficial. At Encora, we have taken a lot of training and certifications from the design perspective because we need to be aware of the new technology and how it works. We might not interact with it directly. We won't be coding, but we need to be aware of how it works. It is similar how we are very knowledge on how mobile applications are developed, even if we don't develop them ourselves, but we are designing for them. So in that case, it's the same. Another field will be ethical design thinking. As I mentioned, ethical concerns are one of the challenges that we are going to face. So we need to educate ourselves on ethical design thinking. and the interactions with AI. So I start experimenting with, designing chatbots per se. That is a good first starting point. Okay. Well, I think there is no more questions, but thank you everyone. It was a great experience to be here today. For more insights and content, please subscribe to the Encora Inc. channel in YouTube. There you will find more content, more courses. Also, if you want to see some of the work we have done, visit Encora.com. And thank you everyone for joining us today.